you both might have a different viewpoint. Our job is going to be to bring you both in a way together to make the best investment decision.
Sometimes the time is right when the time is right. He is somebody I met in 2017. He always wanted to start with an investment in the Dubai market. And 2024 is what it was for him. He, along with another friend of his, wanted to really take a look at the Dubai market again and really start investing. So what we ended up doing is have them sign up on the Dubai Wealth Builder program. And it's a little bit of a challenge trying to get two friends who might think alike, can also think differently sometimes. Him and both of his friends were then escorted along into a strategy session. We then went on to help them virtually select properties, qualify based on the criteria that we established. One of them then visited Dubai. We went physically to see the properties, the different showrooms, and get a feel of the areas and the locations so that we could then make better decisions. The process took about maybe a month to 2 months, but the good thing is they win by getting the best property. Dubai wins by getting a great customer, great client. We win because we get to service them, and the real estate market in Dubai wins overall.
La ilaha illallah. Who is this guy on Instagram, man? The editing he's doing is making me look like Alhamdulillah. I'm not complaining. Okay, we're live. Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this live with me. If you like me or like what I talk about, then you're gonna enjoy this live. I hope you do. Okay. Look, we generally go live on Fridays, but this Friday we couldn't for extenuating circumstances. But we're live today, and we're live, and I'd love to take questions from you. Questions from you on Instagram, questions from you from YouTube, questions from you on, I don't know, if you're on a boat or a train, wherever you might be. Tell me, where are you watching from? Are you home? Are you work today? A lot of people aren't working on Saturdays, generally speaking, right? Are you working today? Thank you very much, everybody who's tuning in from Instagram, from YouTube. Where are you guys watching this live from? I'd love you to tell me where you guys are. Where are you watching this live from? And Saturday for some people is weekends. In the real estate industry, it's generally not weekends. It can be a busy day, but not always. Some people choose to catch up on work that is pending. Some people choose to actually sometimes take off as well. It's not always work on Saturdays. Saturdays can be slow. But what about you guys? Watching from home, watching from here, there, everywhere. Good. Listen, let me tell you something. I've got one of my subscribers, Healthistan. Okay. Fahd Bhai means brother in Urdu. And he says, मैंने पहली deal 1.5 year के बाद की और कितना passion चाहिए inshallah coming in January. Okay, very interesting. So this person closed a deal after 1.5 years, which is very good, mashallah. Mubarak, congratulations. Maybe you come down a little bit. Congratulations, alhamdulillah. Yani, it's not a bad thing, Closing a transaction after 1.5 years, yeah, takes passion, right? He's talking about how much passion is involved, and he's inshallah, I think, coming in January. So I'm not sure exactly where you're coming, if you're coming to Dubai, and where did you close this deal. So there's not a lot of reference point, okay? Marco Lawrence, he says on Instagram, Fahd, ! Fahd, I like the work you do and your content, great feed. Have you been in real estate long? Yes, I've been in real estate for a while, okay? Everybody who's here, welcome. Abi, Abdulaziz, Bushan, Dr. Zahir, Flynn Ryder, Mustafa Zakaria, everybody watching on YouTube, welcome as well. Would love to know what you're doing on the weekends. If it's something that you're catching up on rest, a lot of people like to rest first on the Saturday. Remember, our weekends used to be different some years ago. It used to be Friday and Saturday. Now it's Saturday and Sunday. So you kind of like end up getting the full day off on Saturday, which is amazing. For those who are actually not taking the Saturdays off, and if you're working. Straight Path. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Do good quality apartments appreciate in AED value over 10-15 years, like a villa or townhouse on square foot basis in Dubai? If yes, what are the points to look into for buying an apartment for living in it? Guess what? Straight Path. I actually made a video response to you. But, like other things, sometimes these video responses go into... they go into schedule. Like, I can't create content and drop everything all of a sudden, because then it would just not make sense. But let me answer your question, and I'll try to recall what I said in the video. And you're further on question, Straight Path. As an end user for 15 years and selling it with a handsome price appreciation to the seller, if one wants to move out of UAE after 15, 20 years, any examples or case studies too would be... So I gave a lot of case studies and examples. By the way, we can actually talk live. If there is a WhatsApp number here somewhere, would you like to do that? If you're listening, we can talk live and I can relate to you what I told you in the video as well. Give a thumbs up or a yes if you're going to be coming up live, and then the benefit is that I can actually listen to your re-answers live instead of just me one way talking to you. And that way also you might get a much better detailed answer for yourself. If my team can actually find the summary or the paper that I made to answer you, I will bring that up as well. So give me a little thumbs up if you're going to be joining us live today. There is a mobile number here somewhere. You just need to quickly WhatsApp it. My team's ready on the stand. They're not on the stand. They stand by. They're on the standby to take your calls and then start talking to me. Of course, at the moment, the way the system's set up, I can talk to one person at one time. And yes, I'm not joking. Look, when I answered your video, when I answered your question, this is the plan that I made for your video. I'm sure you can't read it, you can't see it, but this is generally how I sketch things. So for those who are actually trying to do YouTube videos, I can always advise you that you should be preparing a plan on what you're going to be saying, and then you can say it. Just check if our friend Straight Path is going to be coming online or on the phone, or will he be joining us? He hasn't responded to me over here, but I have created a video for you, Straight Path. Straight Path, are you in a place to come online with me on the phone? I don't know if you can join me live on Instagram as well, but if you'd like to join me on the phone, are you going to be joining me? If not, let me know, okay? Until then, I'm going to, because I've got your full answer here, I'd love to share it with you live if you're coming online with me, all right? There is a WhatsApp hotline. It's 052 208 5147. WhatsApp that number, and then they will ask you, and then, come back to you, okay? So is Straight Path joining us? Maybe send us a request here. Okay. Okay, Straight Path is not there. It is not there. I can't hear you. I can't see. And okay, there's no response. There's no pulse from Straight Path. But let's give him a couple of minutes. I want to share a little bit about my journey on how I started into Dubai real estate. And if Straight Path's not there, I'll give you a summary, Straight Path, right now of the answer. But I want to make sure that you're there to listen to this, right? So I'll give you a little bit of a summary of how I got started into real estate. Some people might be able to relate to this, okay? It's actually funny. So back in 2005, in Toronto, Canada, I was born and raised in Dubai, but I was there as a student. One of my mentors approached me and he said, look, there's a large fund that's looking to invest in the Canadian market. Would you like to actually advise them and, give them some help with some real estate they might be looking at. And how much did I know about real estate? Absolute zero. Like, I knew nothing about real estate. Like, I went to business school, but they don't really teach you real estate. I think there's an MBA for real estate professionals, but the business school that I went to, there was absolutely no real estate exposure. And so I said to him, yeah, sure, I'll do some research. I'll work in the industry a little bit, go and get some experience. And then I gave them like a consulting report. I gave them like how they might be able to enter the real estate market in Toronto, so on and so forth. But what it did was, I still remember part of my research was to pick up a Harvard book that had real estate case studies. Okay. It's actually a Harvard case study book, somewhat about real estate, or some case studies about real estate that they teach at the Harvard MBA. And when I was reading this, I was like, wow, real estate is this amazing industry where a lot of people end up making millions of money. And it was quite interesting. And then Dubai at that time, 2004, 5, 6, 7, was going through its first boom. And I ended up moving back to Dubai for X number of reasons. And when I moved back to Dubai, amazing things. Dubai was going through this whirlwind, amazing situation with Dubai real estate. Like, people from all over the world, 200 plus nations were coming here to buy, so on and so forth. And I wanted to get into real estate here. And, my father, who bless him, may Allah preserve him, who was already working with the developer, then, takes me around, shows me the places. And then I hook up with a mentor of mine who ends up together. We start a company, and, he gives me equity in that company. And he's like, okay, you work with me and we'll make sure that things go well for you. Okay. So, and that's my journey on how I got into Dubai. Like, very, very, for a lot of people who are actually thinking about getting into real estate in Dubai, look, part of it is inspiration. Part of it is just do it. Just want it and do it. Okay, let me answer straight path. Listen, I'll give you a little bit of an answer to your question. Okay, first of all, your question is very good. Do good quality apartments, appreciate. But you said do good quality apartments. So what I would say is, the first thing you would say is, the short answer is yes. So you can listen to this, say yeah, I say yes, and we're done with it, right? And do we have examples of this? Yes, we've got examples of this. If you look at Arabian ranches, right, the villa prices over the last 15, 20 years are maybe 3 to 5 times higher if you want to buy today, right? If you adjust them for inflation, they're at least 2.5, 3 times higher. Same thing applies to downtown. Same thing applies to Jumeirah Gulf Estates, even if you adjust for inflation. Then you've got, how do you get in? Where do you get in from? What should your approach be? So your approach should be, first of all, your requirements. What are your requirements? Why are you looking to buy this apartment or villa? What are you looking to do with it? Do you need to live in it? Do you need to place a family in there? So on and so forth. That's very important. And then there's a few other things that you look at. You look at making sure that there's a good developer. A good developer is not just one who's going to build a good building or build a good community. A good developer is one that's going to maintain a good community and a good building. Make sure that they're putting in good quality wares, good quality fixtures and fittings, and make sure that there's good, great amenities. I'm not even going to talk about the community. Of course, the community, if it's amazing and it's a good developer, over time, the community just adds a lot of value. Like the trees become greener, the grass becomes older. Arabian Ranches is a prime example, right? The trees over there are 25, actually not 25. They're probably placed there 20 odd years ago, but they're probably older, right? They're much older. The rocks there are older and the place is beautiful, right? So if you take care of the bottom, if you take care of the bottom line or the basics, your requirements should be met. Good developer, good quality, good amenities. And by your requirements, you've got to do a strategy development session. And you can do this with my team, right? Schooling, all of that, right? Then comes creative solutions. Hello, I see your question. I'm coming up with your answer, okay? Couple of things now. If you're looking at a growth rate over 15 to 20 years, then one of the things you can't do is you can't overprice for a community today, because then you might go down. The price, like real estate, it's cyclical. Okay, so if the price comes down, then you've paid at a you paid at over premiums, and then when it corrects, then you've got to wait for another cycle of 7 years or 5 years, 4 years to come back, right? So what I'd suggest that you would do is don't overpay for anything. That means that you've got to buy value. How do you ascertain and assess value? Is you've got to have experts in your corner. My team of advisors is very good. They can actually help you. We do run a paid service called the Work with Fahd service, or the Work with the Advisor service. Okay. So number one, don't overpay. Number two, because this is when you're buying, right? Number two is if it's a 15 to 20 years outlook, then you've got to see how the community develops over 15 to 20 years. You might want to choose some place like Emaar South. Why Emaar South? Because it just happens that in Emaar South or the Dubai South area, it's going to develop over a period of time, and that development is going to cause prices to go up, generally speaking, which generally then means that you can benefit from that at the time of exit in case you're not renting it at that time. Then another example is the Executive Towers. Look, it's taken time for it. It was first handovers happened in 2009. It is exactly, you could say, about 15 years old as a community, but recent developments. So I'm going to talk about recent developments. Prices corrected, prices dipped, prices went down, prices went up. It was one of those first pioneering developments. So we know that it was super amazing, super awesome. But just recently, the mall downstairs really has taken off. Like, I've visited it several times. I've seen what's going on over there. It's super amazing. Like, if you go there now, there's a few key tenants that have moved in, and then there's a few international franchises that have moved in, and so this place has become like the real deal. Now, given that the apartments might not be the most brand spanking new, a lot of people choose to live there. It's very central to the rest of Dubai, and it's one of those places which provides a lot of value to a lot of people, because if you're looking at downtown, it's sort of like a building which allows you to live in a community setting, right? So it makes sense from that perspective. Dr. Zahir MV, I'm looking to rent a shop for an optical shop on the street in a good location of Dubai. Okay, so I'm going to give you some advice on how you might be able to do this, okay? If you're looking to do this yourself, maybe part of my team can actually help. There's a WhatsApp number you can reach out, and then they can actually take you through the process of actually helping you find something. But if you wanted to do this on your own, I can give you some advice on how you would do this on your own, okay? Basically, if you're not familiar with Dubai, ideally speaking, speak to a couple of friends and family, and then start trying to understand Dubai. What is what's going on, which places might be suitable to your budget, and so on and so forth. Then you can go and look at Property Finder, Bayut, some of these online portals. And what you do with these online portals is you start shortlisting, right? But I've got to then tell you a little bit further that even if you go to these online portals, they don't have almost always everything. So they will have a lot of things. They're very good to use. However, like most brokers do, you got to walk the street sometimes. Just, put your head in, talk to the guys, talk to the security guy and say, look, I'm trying to rent. And sometimes you'll see a toilet board. If you don't want to do all of this, we have a premium service. We are a premium provider, so we take care of things the right way, take the headache away from you. So we have premium packages around this, and our team will be able to help you find that, okay? Hash XM asks, Valley or Emaar South in 5 years? Both have pros and cons. Both are very good in my opinion. And I would not choose one over the other, to be honest with you. I think both are very, very good. Both can be very different for people, also depending on the way you think. For some people, Valley is closer to downtown. Okay, closer to downtown, about 25, 30 minutes maximum. And it's one of those corridors which is developing in a different way, whereas Emaar South is closer to the airport, where a lot of development and infrastructure is going to be developed. So different strokes for different folks, okay? Both are very good. You've got to really analyze and understand what's good for you, like, the house, the sizes. I think that one of them might be bigger sizes, but both are good because they're both from a very top developer. Creative Solutions, what is the current state of market in comparison to 2021 when it comes to demand versus supply? Okay, very good question. You're talking from a perspective of demand versus supply. So let me tell you, we had a little bit more supply in 2021 because a couple of things you've got to remember. Pre-2020, we were going through a slower phase in the real estate market. And that slower phase also meant that supply that was coming into the market or had come into the market in 17 and 18 was still available in some ways for rent, for sale, so on. But 2021, when the market took off, very quickly that supply got absorbed. Like, apartments that were available for sale in top developers were taken off the market, right? They were gone from the market. So, and post 21, 22, 23, 24, we've got large influx of people coming in. But even 21, 22, 23, what you've got to notice is like from 2018 or 17 to 2024, Dubai's population has gone up by 40%, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a big increase, okay? Which you can see from the traffic and so on and so forth. Now we still, because the rents are going up, you can still see that we are in a constricted supply situation, okay? So the opportunities are still there. Do you believe that your positive mindset with respect to the Dubai real estate market can actually take you to places? Because the opportunities exist and they're there. So I hope I was able to answer you, Creative Solutions. Arsalan Yusuf, I'm planning to buy real estate in upcoming launch. How much should I keep average annual maintenance cost in addition to standard maintenance cost that I will give developer? Okay, good question. So that's a very good question. The thing is, the average maintenance cost, okay, you can estimate anywhere between 2% to 3%, something like this, okay? But what I've not seen in the Dubai market is a lot of landlords don't hold back cash or don't hold back money for 10 years. Like, ideally speaking, whoever is a landlord in Dubai, you hold back 2 to 3%, okay, every year. So that after hold back on a side, even if it's not used for annual maintenance, like, okay, you hold back 2 to 3 years of maintenance. It's kind of like a fund that you're building so that at the 10-year mark, you just replace things in the villa, the townhouse, the apartment, so on and so forth. And that's something that you should do. Okay? That's something that you should do, to be honest with you. Ideally speaking, you should do. Okay? Because, by 10 years, apartments or townhouses, like, tenants are living there, bless them. It's not like tenants are bad. Like, anybody who has some sense will understand that in an apartment or a townhouse, over 10 to 15 years of period, the toilets, the kitchen, the cabinetry can start not to just become loose and wobbly. They might be deteriorating. So now you have to reinvest some of that money. So you should be holding some of that money back. Arsalan Yusuf, you ask off-plan apartment versus off-plan townhouse for a capital gain purpose. Look, if you talk to the market and if agents are selling you off-plan townhouse, then they're going to just tell you that this is the best thing. There's nothing else in the world. You can't go wrong, and this is it. And then if somebody's selling off-plan apartment, they're going to tell you no, this is the next best thing, and you can't go wrong, and this is it. What you've got to do is you've got to develop a strategy for yourself, and then you've got to analyze the strategy for yourself means. And I'm going to tell you this. Some people, they're ending up buying townhouses because they're 5 years later, I want to move into the townhouse as well. Or I want to live in the townhouse today. So if you want to so I'm just giving you some ideas. If you really want to live in that townhouse in 3 years, gone, right? That question about return in an apartment's gone. You need to use it yourself. Or if you're not in town. So some people want to come in from abroad, move to Dubai by that time, and they want to start living here, right? So so the strategy, the personal and the investment leads a little bit of the way you should be looking at off-plan apartment or townhouse. And then it could be that, hey, you might say, no, 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 no. I have no concern about ever living there, and I want to just invest. Okay, I just want to invest. And then that's a different strategy. And again, in that scenario as well, the reality is if you can afford a townhouse, because the prices are where they are right now, like closer to 3 million, 2.5 million. If you can afford a townhouse, look, what you're actually doing is then you're competing with a smaller pool of buyers who can afford a townhouse. Most apartments in the residential areas, not the premium prime areas, a larger pool of apartments, a larger pool of buyers generally afford apartments, right? So then you're buying a more higher end product. Hopefully the appreciation will be higher. What we have seen after the or post pandemic, townhouses have done very well. But what you've got to also understand is, now this is no comment on the current launch. You've got to understand that the market moves in interesting dynamics. If everybody was making money selling umbrellas, guess what's going to happen? Everybody who's not selling umbrellas are also going to start bringing umbrellas to the market. So at some stage, you will have an oversupply of umbrellas. And at some stage, everybody would have to reduce the prices on their umbrellas to reduce and remove stock. Right? So while I told you like a townhouse is great because you can actually, you're going into a higher premium product because you can afford it, that's great. You got to also understand that the premium tenants can afford the townhouse, which so far is very good because Dubai is attracting them, right? But when there's a tenant correction or the market correction, then apartments are easier to rent sometimes because the prices are sometimes lower, right? But these are side considerations. The true consideration is your strategy, then developing your strategy, and then evaluating options based on numbers and logic. Okay, I've given you my logic without understanding your case. So it's not the best. I apologize if it's not the best. I try to do the best that I could give you as advice, as food for thought. Okay. Capital gain purpose, like, you know, it's again very subjective, very selective. Creative solutions, as part of your premium service, do you just facilitate buying only, or will you take responsibility to exit as well for the investor to actually profit from the deal? Okay, so here's the thing. No, we only take you through to the purchase scenario. Of course, if it's part of your strategy that you would like to exit, then we will advise you accordingly. But if there's anybody in the market who says we will take full 100% responsibility for helping you exit this property at a profit, nobody can do this. Nobody can guarantee it. Nobody can promise it. Nobody should promise it. Therefore, we don't guarantee it either, right? We follow a process. We take you to the market because a lot of the time sales not only depend on our effort, but they depend on market conditions. And a lot of times you've got to remember that you're investing. It's an investment that you're going into, right? And investments have risks. Investments have rewards. You've got to be able to balance that to be able to gain a good, decent reward, keeping in sight the risks that you're taking, right? Tamanna Siddiqui asks on Instagram, thank you for your question. Everybody who's watching, it's San Al-Kareem, Tamanna, hi. Hey guys, hello everybody, welcome. Tamanna asks, Damac Island or Villa Nova current launch, which one will be good for capital appreciation? I wish I would actually do a comparison. Again, prices are different. The developers are different. So you've got to see which one is a better fit. If you want a customized strategy for comparing this, I think my team's developed one. Please reach out. Again, you can work with them. We work with clients. We do offer a premium service. So it is a prepaid service, but they've done a complete comparison, I believe, for one of our clients as well. So they can actually develop one based on your particular strategy. Okay. What are the top 5 key fundamental factors should I consider when investing in UAE real estate market for long term? So, number 1, meet your own requirements. I'm going to give you 5, but there's like 30 that we look at when we're helping an investor invest, okay? 27 variables. But let's talk about some top 5 ones, okay? Look at your requirements. Look at the developer's credibility. Look at the quality. Look at the amenities. Look at the community. Look at your requirements. The investment should meet your requirements. Investment or emotional purchase or investment purchase should meet your requirements. You should be a good developer with a good reputation, with good credibility and track record. They should be known to deliver good quality, decent quality. They should have good amenities in the building, the project, the place. They should have, there was one more, good community. It should ideally be a good community, but not everybody buys in a good community, because sometimes the good community apartment might be smaller for you, and then the one that's on the average community has a bigger apartment, gives you better rental income or ROI, right? So yes, you're looking at rental income, capital appreciation, potential capital appreciation, because all of this data is available basically, okay? My team can actually do this work if you're signed up on our premium package. By the way, guys, when you're working with our advisors, any monies that you pay to sign up to start working is actually refunded back to you upon purchase. It's just so that we know that we're working with serious people who value our commitment and our resources and our time to helping you the correct way. So, Arsalan, good. Your requirements should be met, which is a strategy that you should develop. I'll probably pretty much very soon have something online that you will be able to download and run a full strategy yourself. It'll be one of those paid products. Good developer, good quality, good amenities, good community. Look at rental income and good capital appreciation. I think for the long term, you will be good. Now, the thing is, if you're thinking, oh, okay, well, I want capital appreciation as well, right? Thinking about this. Look, you should be looking at liquidity. As I said, like, it all comes down to your personal situation. Like you said to me long term, right? So I would take liquidity off the table. I would say, okay, this person, Arslan, doesn't need to resell his apartment or property for the next 10 years. But if somebody comes in and they want liquidity, guess what? It becomes very important to choose the right developer, so on and so forth. Now, it also becomes very important for you to look at infrastructure in the place. Now, as infrastructure gets built, prices go up. But if you buy in a place where infrastructure is not already built, you will have liquidity, meaning resale issue. You'll still resell. You just won't resell at a profit, or you won't resell very fast, but then you might have those issues. So this is something you've got to balance out. If you work with a team, we can do it for you. How to evaluate the best quality? I feel nowadays even best brand quality have gone down. Yeah, you've got to choose developers that give you the best quality. And how to evaluate best quality, how to evaluate build quality? There are some videos I've got, okay? One of the things that I've identified was that people who would actually, developers who are their own construction companies are also very good. I would suggest, look, you ask me a question, but you ask me a question that's very easy to understand and explain from a logical perspective. And I'll give you something, okay? Do you think that a certain brand of cars from Japan is very reliable? I don't want to name the brand, but let's just say X brand X. If you go and talk to a lot of people, they'll tell you, look, it's very reliable. The automotive parts are pretty cheap. Not cheap, but they're pretty easily replaceable, pretty available, and the resale value is good. Now, that's not just market conception or perception. It's their friends, family, etc., will tell you. And then if I tell you, like, hey, what about this new brand from there, or this car brand from another country, from the West? And then if people said, oh, it's not reliable, like, if people said that. I'm not saying they would say that, but if they said that, then you'd be like, okay, I understand. So this car company from Japan produces quality. It's as simple as that. In Dubai, you can actually know We know who the quality developers are because we know that their apartments and their villas don't have complaints afterwards. We know that the people living there love living there. We know that the people living there give us feedback. They go on online and talk about all of this, right? And we know this. We know this. And sorry to say that you don't feel that there's best good quality, but it's coming because people are actually focusing on this. Hey guys, really thank you very much for joining me on this live. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the time that all of you guys put into being here and the questions that you gave in. We have an amazing program, guys. It's called the Dubai Wealth Builder program. It's practically free. It's not free to start, but it is practically free for you to join, because when you join, the moment you pay, you end up getting the money back. Creative Solutions, Shobha Heartland versus Expo. Again, I can't answer this question right now because I'm at the end of the live, but I'd love to take it up another time. And what I'd love to do is, let me give you a generic answer, okay? Creative Solutions. Understand the location of both, and then understand the location of both, and then understand the timeline of development of both. And I can tell you, go to both areas, like drive down. If you have a driver, or if you're working with an agent, tell them, look, I want to go there. I want to drive there, right? So one place has 2 schools operational for the last 5-6 years. It's very close to downtown, right? Fireworks, the road network, everything's ready. You can order talabat, right? The other place is also very good, has metro stations, is amazing, has great potential. But then you've got to, in your mind, believe in that vision and that potential. We believe in it. I always tell people, like, people are always there. They're doing things. Dubai is always growing. And you've got to believe in it. Because if you don't believe, then don't go there. Right? So, but go there. Go there 2 or 3 times. You will make up your mind. It'll be easier for you. Okay, I hope that helps. Arsalan, thank you, Fahd. Only page which I feel in UAE that focuses on fundamental when investing in real estate. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. I appreciate your positive feedback. I want to ask you guys very quickly, if you guys are still here, what days do you guys prefer the live? Fridays or Saturdays? I'm going to put it on my Instagram as a poll as well, and on YouTube as well. If you guys have any feelings, special feelings about Friday or Saturday, I generally go live on Friday mornings or Saturday mornings. Which days do you prefer? If there's a very strong opinion or not a strong opinion as well, give it to me now. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you very much, guys. Everybody who was here, I appreciate. Join our service. It's called the Work with Fahd Build Dubai Wealth Builder program, or you can work with our advisors, and it's almost absolutely free, but you get top-notch advice. Ciao for now. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye-bye. You both might have a different viewpoint. Our job is going to be to bring you both in a way together to make the best investment decision.
Sometimes the time is right when the time is right. He is somebody I met in 2017. He always wanted to start with an investment in the Dubai market. And 2024 is what it was for him. He, along with another friend of his, wanted to really take a look at the Dubai market again and really start investing. So what we ended up doing is have them sign up on the Dubai Wealth Builder program. And it's a little bit of a challenge trying to get 2 friends who might think alike, can also think differently sometimes. Him and both of his friends were then escorted along into a strategy session. We then went on to help them virtually select properties, qualify based on the criteria that we established. One of them then visited Dubai. We went physically to see the properties, the different showrooms, and get a feel of the areas and the locations so that we could then make better decisions. The process took about maybe a month to 2 months, but the good thing is they win by getting the best property Dubai wins by getting a great customer, great client. We win because we get to service